Yo, what up? It's your boy Mac the Wise Soul. So I am here because I've been told that after game 3, I was gonna go MIA. So I just had to let y'all know. Look, I'm here. There's no fear going down after game 3 of the NBA Finals. But I said I was gonna go live and I was gonna talk about it for a little bit. I didn't even really know I was going up against the Capitol Hill hearing and all that. January 6th stuff. I don't know, but whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and record this little bit for a second and talk about this. So game 3, we're gonna get right into it. NBA Finals, game 3, the Boston Celtics defeated the Warriors 116 to 100. What happened? What were my thoughts? What was said? Has my phone stopped going off since the game ended? It calmed down a little bit this afternoon, but I was getting some smoke early after that game was over last night. Like there was a couple people who will remain nameless who was hitting me up talking trash as if the series was already over. But let me just give you my thoughts because that's kind of what I was here for. If you don't already know, go ahead and follow your boy on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the Y Soul, YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share all that. Do whatever. I just wanted to give you my thoughts real quick of what happened and why it went down the way that it did. So, first and foremost, the start of the game. The Dubs got off to a super slow start. A super slow start. I mean, at one point, I want to say we were down like 15 points, if not more, in the first quarter on the road in a hostile environment. And I said that was one of the keys to the game was for the Warriors to not get off to a slow start. And it was a key for Boston to win the game was for them to go ahead and take that home energy, the home crowd, and go ahead and embrace that and get on a nice run. And that's exactly what Boston did. Um, I'm not here to make excuses for the teams or what happened and so forth. I just kind of give you my honest opinion. I'm biased obviously because I'm a Warriors fan, but I like to keep it authentic with that. So Boston got out to a hot start. Um, they took that crowd, the energy. They played extremely well in the first quarter, and that's kind of where the game ended right there in the first quarter. It was all about that. Um, Robert Williams, the Boston center, Al Horford, these dudes are making the Warriors look small. And I say it this way. I talked about this on TikTok. There hasn't been a series where the last few playoff runs the Warriors have been in to where we have a small lineup, yes, but where we actually play small. Boston is the first series that I can think of in this Warriors run. Honestly, yeah, it's since at least 2015, maybe the early Lob City Clippers, but even then we had like Bogut, so we were okay. Where the Warriors actually look real small and it became a major problem. Like Robert Williams was getting offensive rebounds, Horford was getting offensive rebounds, and that became a problem. The Warriors, on the other hand, they have Looney, Draymond. We'll talk about Draymond in a minute. Uh, Dray- Draymond Green, shout out to Draymond Green in his podcast. Check that out if you haven't already. But I don't understand um, what the rotation is some of the times. I feel like we go small way too fast. I get it why we want to, but I feel like Kerr goes it out a little bit too quick sometimes. But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna get on a tangent here in a second. The first quarter. The first quarter was all about offensive rebounding and Boston hitting shots. Jalen Brown is I can argue right now, Jalen Brown has been the best player in the series for Boston. He's been the most consistent player and the best player. Is that on a scoring level? It's on a scoring level. Defensively, he is playing the best for Boston. If Boston had an MVP right now, it would be Jalen Brown, in my opinion, over Jason Tatum. I was on somebody else's show not too long ago, and I even said I can argue Jalen Brown's a better player than Jason Tatum. I caught a lot of slack for that. Like it's very well possible that he is as good as Jason Tatum is now. The difference between the two is I think Jason Tatum kind of is what he is, and that's not a bad thing. Even though he doesn't label himself a superstar, he's definitely on the cusp of being a superstar. But I think for Jalen Brown, there's there's like another level where he can reach where he's currently at. Like he's here. I think there's something else he can go to. And I don't necessarily know if that's the case for Jason Tatum, but with Jalen Brown, I think that's something you can definitely do and see at this point. And he might be heading in that direction. But anyway, the first quarter was all about him getting buckets, driving to the hole, being aggressive on defense. Clay got off to a slow start. Steph, tried to keep everybody in the game. We got behind and we got behind fast. And what happens with the Warriors is we always lean on our third quarter runs. I talked about this previously as well. The best thing about the Warriors is we can be down 15 points, and in a 5 minute run, we can be up 15 points. It usually happens third quarter. Sometimes it happens second quarter. But that's usually how the Warriors operate. They can do that. They can turn it on with the switch. The thing about this series is Boston doesn't necessarily seem to be that team that we want to play these games with. We lost the first quarter. I want to say we were down 11 at the end of the first quarter. It was like 33-22, I believe. So we went into the second quarter already down 11 points. The second quarter was very good on both sides. Jason Tatum started getting involved. Clay started making buckets. Steph was doing what Steph was doing. But we were still getting outboarded. The hustle plays. The Warriors lost this game on all levels. We lost it defensively. We gave up 116 points. We lost the hustle plays. We lost the rebounding, the assist, and that's kind of like our hallmark is we pass the ball well. I can I can look at it. I'll pull it up, but I want to say Boston might have even had more team assists than the Warriors did. They actually did. They had 28 assists to the Warriors 22. That's that's actually lopsided. It should be the other way around for the Warriors to in the Warriors' favor because that's just what they do. We've been using I don't want to call it the old Mark Jackson offense, but it's been a lot of pick and roll ISO Steph and getting Steph going. And it kind of has to be that way right now for whatever reason because he's not really getting any help. Like one of the keys to the game was somebody else had to step up offensively in game 3 to help the Warriors. Whether it be a big game from Jordan Poole or Clay Thompson. And Clay Thompson, he delivered. He didn't go game 6 Clay, but he definitely looked like Clay Thompson. He was making buckets, getting shots. The one thing I love about Clay is even though he's not all the way back physically yet, he still gives maximum effort on defense. He's not the lockdown defender he used to be before the injuries, but he's still giving maximum effort on defense. And you can do nothing but appreciate that because we're gonna need that effort right now in this series. So the first half it ended the way it ended. We were still down. I want to say 10, something like that. We were down about 10 points, I think, going into the half. And honestly, I didn't feel bad because I knew that third quarter was coming. And that third quarter got here. And it's like the Warriors calling card. They get busy in the third quarter. I wasn't ever worried about it, but I'll say this. I think Golden State, um, they used a lot of energy in this third quarter last night. They use a lot of energy. And when you're down that many points and you burn through a quarter, I think we won the quarter only by 8 points this time. But when they burned through that just to get within 3 to go into the fourth quarter, it took a lot out of them. Steph balled out. Clay, like I said, made buckets. Draymond Green. Draymond Green. Everybody's saying it's Draymond's fault we lost. Draymond's not focused. He's distracted. Da 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 da. Whatever. Honestly, let's be honest, man. Draymond Green doing a podcast, talking his talk or whatever he does, isn't distracting from what he does. He admitted it on his own his own podcast today. He just didn't play well. It's not a distraction that he's doing a podcast. He just isn't playing well. He gave you who he was in game 2. And then when he tried to do that, we heard all the critics. Oh, Draymond's being too physical. He's being tough. Draymond should be getting teched, And honestly, I think he admitted himself. It got into his head. And he didn't play like Draymond Green that we know. He didn't play as the same player. And if he's not going to be Draymond Green, he's not going to be effective. And I think he realized that. So I think going forward, we'll see a different Draymond. But the whole, he shouldn't be talking to the media. He shouldn't be talking to old players, calling them out. He shouldn't be doing podcasts. That's BS. Like Draymond, look, back in the day, Dennis Rodman would be on WCW Nitro the night before a playoff game and then go get 15, 18 rebounds. It don't matter. Michael Jordan would go gamble in the casino until 4 a.m. It don't matter because the next day during their games, they performed. And if Draymond performs as he's capable of and does what he needs to do, it won't matter if he's doing a podcast in the locker room afterwards. He just needs to perform. So second half, let's talk about the second half. Second half is where I lost it. I, I got a couple texts in the second half, and I honestly wanted to toss my phone because I was getting that frustrated. Boston bullied the Warriors in the second half. I mean, on all the loose balls, all the rebounding. They had so many second chances. Grant Williams, Robert Williams, he was blocking shots, offensive rebounds, putbacks. It was so frustrating, and it was hurting because Kerr he took Looney out, and Looney is at this point is the only size. Without Wiseman being around, Looney is the only size the Warriors have. And Bielitsa, he tries, but he ain't really gonna be in there getting any kind of offensive rebounds and so forth or defensive rebounds. He tries. We just couldn't back box out. They got so many second chances, and that will kill any kind of momentum. Because in the other series, like the most recent series the Warriors were in, even against Denver and Joker, Denver had size. Denver had the Joker. They had size. But Looney and Wiggins, they were crashing the boards. Like Wiggins was the best big we had. I mean, Looney balled out. Don't get me wrong. Looney, I don't want to take anything from Looney, but Wiggins was arguably one of the best bigs we have, and he's not really a big. So as you know, he was grabbing offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, tipping the ball back out. That's what Andrew Wiggins brings to the Warriors right now, and they kind of need that. The only thing is he hasn't been able to do that in this series, and it's a little worrisome. I mean, it's kind of worrisome. It ain't too worrisome. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm not saying I'm concerned with Wiggins and him not being able to do that. I just think he hasn't really shown that yet. Um, he's doing other things. He's trying to defend Tatum. He's trying to defend Brown on occasions. Honestly, like when we go to zone, I would put Wiggins down low and let him play on a block on the zone because honestly, Andrew Wiggins right now is the best rim protector we have, and that is what it is. Without Wiseman being on the roster in the playoffs or being on the team right now, Wiggins is the best rim protector that we have. But anyway, like I said, the fourth quarter came and the Warriors they did nothing. Everybody's talking about well, Steph only scored 2 points in the fourth. The Warriors as a team scored 11 points in the fourth. We couldn't do anything. We were exhausted because of the run we just gave ourselves to get back into the game. Not to mention all the fouls that were called against us. I mean, Steph was in foul trouble from the beginning. Kerr kept him in there and risked it, and I'll give kudos to Kerr for doing that. Even though I think when he pulled up Steph out in that third, I wasn't a fan of that, and I think we could have had a bigger quarter if he would have left Steph Curry in. But I get it, the fouls. You wanted to watch it going into the fourth. At the end of the day, it didn't really matter. But I get what he was doing. Draymond fouled out in the fourth. You know, he wasn't really effective on I don't want to say either end. He gives max effort on defense always, so I'll give him that. He just wasn't playmaking like he was. He wasn't creating open spaces for Clay to hit buckets. He wasn't creating open spaces for Steph Curry to hit buckets. Steph kind of did everything off the dribble, off the screens on his own. And Steph got busy. So one thing I'm enjoying so far is on Twitter is seeing the slander that Steph gets. I don't get it. How do you not like Steph Curry? Everybody's talking about, oh, Steph don't show up in the finals. Steph doesn't do this. Steph don't do that. Steph has been balling in these finals. Tell me right now, is Steph not the most consistent player in the finals so far? I think he is, and I don't think it's even been close. Game one through game three, Steph Curry has been the most consistent. One thing I'm concerned about going forward is the injury that Al Horford, on a loose ball, he fell on Steph's ankle. I don't know. Steph saying he's going. I don't anticipate Steph missing any games in this series. It's the finals. Why would you? I mean, at this point, you just get shot up and the off season's right around the corner, so it doesn't really matter. Steph's gonna be Steph and he's gonna play. So with to say all that is this. Everybody calm down. I saw a lot of fans who were like, "Oh no, it's over." Boston fans hitting me up saying, "Oh, W's, it's over, it's over." It's 2 games to 1. It's 2 games to 1. This is not a best of 3 series, it's the best of 7. I can argue right now the Warriors have outplayed Boston most of the series and could easily be up 2-1. I think this is the only game 3 was the only game where Boston clearly outplayed the Golden State the entire game. Game 1, the Warriors were up 15 at one point, got lazy, sloppy with the ball in the fourth, gave up 40 points in the fourth quarter and lost. Game 2, they blitzed Boston and did what they had to do and pulled out the W. Golden State could have easily been up 2-1 right now. So the panic meter for the wise soul here, your boy Mac, my panic meter is at like a 3 out of 10. I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. I'll say this: Game 4, it's it's kind of must win. It's kind of must win for the Warriors because they don't want to go down 3-1. Nobody wants to be in that situation. I know the 3-1 jokes will come. I'll get a text message right now saying, "Oh, 3-1." I know that'll happen. But the goal coming into Boston, these 2 games, was to split. Just like Boston came into Golden State, San Francisco, and got a split. The goal is to go out there and get a split. So if we pull out game 4 tomorrow and come back 2-2 in San Francisco for game 5, you gotta love it. You gotta love your chances at that point. You'll be at home, tie series. Game 5 will be crucial. But there is pressure on Golden State to not go down 3 games to 1. That is definitely a thing. But if anybody's gonna not fold to that pressure, it's this Golden State Warriors team because these dudes have been there before. Um, they got record. They're champions. They've been battle tested. They know what the stakes are. And usually, when Golden State lays an egg in a game, they come back in and they rectify it in that next game. I expect Draymond to be a full go, full on top of his game. Out there wrecking havoc, rebounding, making plays. If anything, if Draymond's out there making plays, the Warriors will be in a good hand. Now, one player that's been frustrating me so far in the finals, and it's only frustrating because I really like the player, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole gave us a solid game two, but he's pretty much been MIA games 1 and game 3. I don't know what it is. I I don't think the moment is too big for Jordan Poole. I don't think that's the problem. I just think Jordan Poole is I don't know. I honestly I don't know. I still don't think it's the moment, but I want to see Jordan Poole take a step up in this series and do some things off the bench. Because if Jordan Poole can get busy and get going, I don't know if it's the Boston defense that's just like stifling him or what. But if JP gets going and it's a pool party, I think the Warriors will be fine. Jordan Poole is kind of key. If Clay can be consistent again and trusted, That will definitely help out Steph. But Jordan Poole, I think, if you get all three of them going, the Warriors are tough to beat. I mean, that's just is what it is. Um, I don't know if White and Smart are just locking him up and he's getting frustrated. I don't know what it is, but I think Jordan Poole definitely needs to take that step up and get busy. And I want to see a big game four out of him. Because if JP gets us 25, if he gets us 20 to 25 points, and Clay does what he did in game three, Warriors will be fine. The Warriors will be fine. And like I said earlier, the panic meter, like I said, it's a 3 on a scale of 10. So I just wanted to go ahead and kind of give you that, let you guys know I ain't going nowhere. Y'all can find me the YSO Instagram, Twitter. We be talking to sports on Twitter, talking to trash, all that. So you know where to find your boy. Also on TikTok, the YSO. I give updates on the game pregame, keys to the game for both teams. I don't want to make this all about Golden State real quick. I'm gonna say a few things about Boston. I mentioned Boston earlier and how I think Jaylen Brown arguably could be just as good as Jason Tatum. Boston is a really good team. Boston, I don't necessarily think they're deep as far as, super deep team, but they're very, I think they said on the broadcast last night, they're very athletic. They're very athletic. Tatum and Brown on the wings, they both defend solid. I think Brown is a better defender than Tatum, and that's not taking anything away from Jason Tatum because I think he's a really good defender as well. Robert Williams protects the paint so well. And honestly, that could be a key to why Jordan Poole isn't able to get to the hole and do things because Robert Williams, when he's in there, he is protecting that paint so well. And it's frustrating because there's no way to pull him out. Even with a small lineup, they stick him on Draymond, and Draymond doesn't necessarily pull him out the paint. And it's frustrating. That's kind of the time where you wish you had Wiseman back because I think Wiseman would be able to stretch him out just a little bit, pause, a little bit more, obviously, than Draymond can do. So Boston is good, man. It's gonna be, a tough series. We already knew that. I called Warriors in six. I'm sticking to it, Warriors in six. So I already knew they had to lose two games at some point, and they lost the two games. So if that's how it's gonna be, the Warriors should win the next three games, and we should be out of here. But we'll see. We'll take it one game at a time. Game four goes down Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, and whatever time zone you're in, it goes down. So follow me on Twitter, follow me on TikTok, Instagram. It's the Y Soul. YouTube, go ahead. I just had to get my thoughts out because y'all thought I wasn't gonna do it, and I told y'all, look, I ain't hiding. I'm Dub Nation. We not afraid. And let me say this. Let me real quick. Dub Nation, stop talking about the Boston fans. Stop. Nobody cares. It makes us seem soft, man. Like we ain't worried about what the fans are saying in Boston. I could care less what they're screaming at Draymond Green. They probably dropping all kind of in bombs because it's Boston. That's what we expect, like the little kid on the Pat McAfee show said, uh fuck Boston. I don't want to curse on that channel, but I had to do that. We don't care. Like it's not a big deal. The Warriors can handle it. So stop worrying about what the Boston fans are doing. Just make it hostile when they come back. Just like when we were in Oracle in Oakland, you make it hostile for when Boston comes out here and stop crying about it. It's not a big deal. All right. Nation, we got this. Everybody relax. Relax. It's only 2 games to 1. We'll be out. We'll be fine. I still got Warriors in 6. Shout out to Elisa. Go Warriors. Thank you for making a comment and saying go Warriors because, yeah, it's definitely Dub Nation. And she got a lot riding on this series. So I know Elisa is very tapped into this series because she knows if the Warriors don't win, it ain't a good sign for her. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. It's your boy Mac the Y. So again, thanks for tuning in. If you're catching the replay, thanks again for catching that replay. Hit the like, subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, the Y Soul, on Twitter, the Y Soul, on TikTok, the Y Soul. I'll see y'all again with another post game wrap. If things go right Friday night, I might just hit that live button and go live again on Friday and talk about the post game. But I expect the Warriors to win. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dubs will win by double digits. and we'll be 2-2 going back to the Bay on Monday. So I'll see you guys in. Anyway, it's your boy Mac the Y. So I'm out. Gang.